coming back to you. You know, it keeps coming back to you. Inaenda inarudi, inaenda inarudi, inaenda inarudi. Watu wanairushia mawe, wanamwagilia maji baridi, wanaekelea barafu, but it doesn't die. You know, that could be your calling. So again, you need now to start having a conversation with yourself. You know, every time when somebody discourages you from doing something and their only lame justification is you're not brought up in such a place or in such a environment, you see, it is because now they are trying to rub their thoughts and their inclinations about agriculture onto you, that agriculture is nothing. Okay, honestly, I will tell you, even as a banker, as I speak today, I have this very strong conviction that all good things that were meant for the human being, you'll get them from the ground. For those who love gold and metals and those shining metals, you have to dig. Somebody went and dug. For those who love good food, you need to go and dig. For those who need a good house, you have to buy a piece of land and plant that house there. You know, so when you look at everything, it starts from the ground. And yet you realize that, as I said, you can have an opportunity of investing in agriculture without necessarily owning the land. There's a lot of land that is idle, okay? A lot of land that is idle, and people do not know what to do with it. And here you are, Mary Minor, without an inch that you can call your own, and yet you have an idea about how you're going to use an acre or two of another person's land, okay? What you need to do is this. Now, it is about time that you became deaf to what other people are telling you about this persistent urge to get into agriculture, and now move and now go into agriculture and start small, start from wherever, because I can assure you, you hardly get it wrong in agriculture. You will get it wrong at times, but ultimately you will win. So you can only move in that direction, because as I've heard from you, it is something that keeps recurring. Go for it. Go for it. Any other question? You can imagine if I was to continue along the agriculture bit, you know, you can imagine now, when you share that kind of passion with one or two other people who have passion for agriculture, then you can see, you can start by depending on God. And when I say you depend on God, is because not everybody can be able to do it. Not everybody can be able to sink a borehole. So when you depend on God, it means you're depending on the rainy season. Okay. And rainy seasons, by the way, you know, if it is enough to be able to grow a plant from a seed to a fruit, then it is also enough to be able to grow your seed into a fruit. And you know, first season you sell, the second season again you sell again, you make some money, put in your pocket, and next year you decide, okay, let me sink a borehole in this land, piece of land, so that I get to do whatever I want. My plants are still seeing rain. When there is rain, my borehole would remain, would take a break. So you can imagine that is still possible. But don't let anybody dissuade you from a good idea. Okay. Again, you talked about peer pressure. It so happens that you know, I would ask you a question, because why are you the one being affected by other people's peer pressure? Why aren't you being the dominant one to affect them with yours? Okay. So when you choose to become the dominant one, tune, instead of you always dancing to theirs. So you become the dominant one. And I would urge you at this point, when you become the dominant ones, please be the good girl. don't don't be the dominant one with bad manners.
Okay, I will. Thank you.
Yes.
So looking at the time, it's
Yes.
already 9:10.
Yes.
We've extended with 10 minutes. So, is there anyone else who has a question for Mr. Felix?
How many more minutes do you have for this second session before it ends?
It's ending. Actually, it has ended.
It has ended the second session.
Yes. I don't see any other question.
Oh, I thought that somebody was said I have a question somewhere.
Anyone, please? Okay, Samia.
Oh,
Go.
Samia, then raise your voice.
Saving tips for
Yes.
young people, or like if you're paying for school fees and these things, what's the best amount or the minimum amount you can save? That's I always find myself finishing all my money by the end of the month,
Oh, yeah.
and unnecessary.
Okay, your month is always longer than the money. It
Yeah.
happens. It so happens simply because you have now that is a whole that's a whole it's a whole topic on its own, and I'll tell you exactly why. Because normally we know when you earn some income, the first step is to save first. You know, I can tell you our parents and our and our grandparents, there used to be a mantra, kula tano weka tano, but it is because it was possible then. But that has since changed, because nowadays you are advised, when you make an income, the first step you start is by saving. Be very deliberate with savings. In terms of savings, be very deliberate. And I'll tell you one thing. When you choose to deliberately save, banks give you options. Banks and circles give you options. The first step is, if you don't trust yourself in terms of discipline, in terms of your appetite, deny yourself uh, the means to be able to be accessing that saving every now and then. It could be through it could be through a circle, or if you go to the banks have pure savings accounts. Okay, and that savings account, you're told probably you can only go and withdraw once in 3 months. Okay, so be deliberate. For me, the first thing is be deliberate, but you can, even at that level, look at your incomes, and you will probably see that there are some excesses that you indulge in every other time you have some money. And that is why your intention has always been to remain with something to save. And now, today, on this 21st day of August 2020, I am telling you to make an upside down kind of method. Start saving first. I have heard you save last. And every time you want to save, you look at the cookie jar, it is empty, because you have already emptied everything. So change your tactics. You've made 1,000 shillings, for example. Be deliberate and say, I want to save 200. Take that 200 and put it where you can't get it in advance, so that you are left to spend 800 shillings. Don't start spending with an intention of saving 200 shillings at the end. Save the 200 shillings in front, upfront. Okay. The other thing is, we have M-Pesa and mobile monies. It is impossible to save money that you can see. And when I speak to guys here, guys, I can see as we are the we are the ones that are so impulsive. Okay, ladies are impulsive, impulsive spenders as well. But guys, ukiweka pesa kwa M-Pesa, when a friend tells you, "Unipatie kidogo," you know, girls have higher discipline than men in money on M-Pesa. So come to the bank. We will give you a solution that would help you discipline yourself.
Thank you.
All right. I guess even before we go, I need to encourage us also to not to be choosy in our careers. Look, I will tell you now. I will tell you now that I have worked as a banker, and I've worked with an insurance company. I have done a few hustles. You know, people. If you believe you're a salesperson, and everybody can tell yourself you're a salesperson, start by selling insurance. Start by selling insurance. And I'll give you about quickly, I'll give you 2-3 advantages of selling insurance. Insurance is one of the things that it's like selling land that is not yours. You know, you wake up and go sell an insurance policy to a client who wants, and your insurance company pays you for it. Okay? So what do you need? All you need is to get to know the products, and you'll go out there and sell. Capital required, only your mouth. Show up and get to know how to talk to people. That is the initial capital. The insurance company would train you and teach you its products. Now, if there's one good thing about going out there and talking to people, it is about networking. We are always told about networking. The young people are networking, young people are networking. You know, if you're looking for something to start off with, talk to yourself, have a sober conversation, and tell yourself, if you are shy, tell yourself, I will stop being shy. Be outgoing, start talking to people. Go to an insurance company, tell them you'd want to start selling insurance. Tell them to train you. They will train you, actually, even if you don't tell them. As long as they see your passion, they will train you. And from the first day, you start meeting new people. You will start realizing that actually there is no door. Okay, no, actually, let me even paraphrase it, that everywhere there is a door, there is a person behind that door. Okay? I hope you've taken that. Everywhere there is a door, there is a person behind that door. That person could be having your money in their pocket. They could be the ones to finance your idea. They could be the ones to make that difference. So, talking about insurance, I can actually talk for the next 2 hours about insurance, but I will tell you, it's one of the most vilified, but the most satisfying kind of job that you can be able to know, because the moment you get to know how to talk to people, you can go anywhere and you can talk to anyone. I hope that has challenged somebody in here.
Yes, a lot. I'm challenged and I've learned a lot today. So maybe, Afula, do you have a question before we call it night? This is
Thank
the
you
last
for
question,
this.
actually. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to ask my question. Okay. First of all, I want to appreciate Mr. Felix for the insight you are giving. And I concur with you. We are always impatient for whatever that we start as a business, or when we come up with an idea, flops on the way. Okay, my question is,
yes,
I'm much engaged on community issues, on matters affecting young people. So we normally have some program and international events for the young people. Do you offer support to such programs for the young people?
Yeah. that I would that would be as a CSR, which you're basically asking that whether we give back to the society. We do give back to the society as a corporate, and you can imagine, even for me to sit here this evening and have this kind of conversation. For me, it is part of giving back. Okay, at times you get to learn, and you trip, you fall, and you rise again. Then you realize that uh, I have gone through this, and if I can be able to talk to people and tell them that when you go through this, do A, B, C, D. I guess to be forewarned is to be forearmed. This life is not straight. So as a corporate, yes, we do. We do. It's normally, but we need to know, and I can tell you, most financial institutions would be able to look at it in terms of giving back to the society, and again, you empower a society that you'd expect to be able now to see that it will come back and uh, have that kind of ripple effect on you. Okay, so it is something that it can be done, but I can tell you, like, as a person, I would be able to, if there's an opportunity to talk to young people and actually discuss the challenges that young people face without fear and without sugarcoating them. I am free, I am available, I can be able to create time such like this, so that at the end of the day, if this conversation with these numbers here, if five people have carried something here and run with it and make a success out of it, I will consider this a very successful time spent. It will be fulfilling. Okay, well, that person may not come back to say thanks to me, but probably they will say thanks by imparting certain positives that they have picked from this to another person with a need, and it will be an awesome kind of feedback for me.
Thank you so much, Mr. Felix Nyambo, for creating time to so I've learned actually a lot that idea is my capital. And I remember one of my mentor told me that idea attract money. So I'll hold on to my idea. And I also want to extend my sincere gratitude to all the participants who've been with us from the start to the end. Really extend my great gratitude to you all. I know we might be, we would like to extend the session because we are learning a lot. And as we continue learning, other topics and other matters are rising. And we could choose to have Mr. Felix Nyambo on the next Zoom session to continue impacting the knowledge and the expertise we have on this matter of socioeconomic empowerment. Maybe probably we can target talk more on saving and finance literacy on the next webinar. So if we don't have any other inputs, we can call it and say goodbye and call it a night. Yeah.
Okay, I'm probably just a parting shot. I can only say thank you to each and every one of you. To be here and have people listening to you for almost an hour and a half, and they don't run away. It means it means a lot. At times, you can imagine from where I'm seated. If I've seen people dropping off, we and Saidi, we and Saidi, we and Saidi, we and Saidi, it would have really, I would have really wondered whether I'm speaking to any soul. So the mere fact that you guys have taken time to sit back and listen and actually contribute by asking questions. And even I've seen quite a number of messages, chats on the wall here. You know, I also want to thank you. I also want to encourage you and tell you that everything is possible. Okay, and you know, if every day you wake up and look at the bright side of life, then the life would always be bright. But if you wake up and look at the dark side of life, you'd always miss the sun. You'd never see the sun. But always concentrate. Look at the sun every day that even the day that brings challenges, therein lies like a small opportunity. Run, look at the opportunity and pick the opportunity. Forget about the challenges. That small opportunity will solve all those challenges. So don't ever forget that. Good evening, all.
Bye. Organize another one like this one. We need another training.
Okay, thank you from the
No
host
problem.
desk.
You guys organize and call me. I'll be fine. Yes.
From the host desk, I can say thank you all for sparing your time to take part in this particular talk. Hope to see you next time in the next session. Have a good night. You can leave at your own pleasure.
Thank you.